Okay, I just like to talk about the recent Tim Poole video. Let me see if I can draw up the last one. I think is "Have we lost the culture? Has the culture of the internet been destroyed?" So I'm gonna load up my computer, and you get to look at my nice future publishing permanent magazine that I bought a few years back. Not sure what year it was, but okay, yeah. Here's the name of it. It's called. Can you focus in? Please focus. Okay. Have we lost the culture war already? The end. Okay, so watch that video. It's yesterday's video from the date of this publishing. So anyway, I was okay. So this magazine, there's like some archaic stuff like Facebook. Where's that? No, MySpace. Facebook's here, Twitter. This is kind of a few years back. I had been interested in social media and learning it as a tool for communications, for some other stuff I was interested in. It's gone pretty much mainstream since then. I kind of was into it early days a little bit. Not so much MySpace. I did have an account there. Twitter, of course, I was on there early. Facebook, I wasn't so interested in, but Twitter was a great tool. YouTube, watching videos, but Twitter, social media, connecting quickly. Some of these things these tools have been utilized in ways that are obvious at this point. It wasn't just early days. People were understanding that you can communicate really quickly, do mass kind of like awareness situations. You can spread information. You can use it in real time. So those kind of things do happen still, but in this case, we're talking about the internet in general, the average person using these tools. There's some early days of talking about etiquette here, which is good. Twitter etiquette, tweet too frequently, justify unfollowing someone. And spam your followers. This is not getting into politics or bad attitudes and whatnot. Anyway, Tim Poole basically said at one point in that video, he said, the internet is essentially being reformatted. Is it being reconquered? In paraphrasing, is it being reconquered? Excuse me. Is it being reconquered by mainstream media? And we had hints of this, and he's been keeping on track of that. And what he did say is he doesn't have he can't be an expert in everything, and he kind of shied away from some of the gun issues and what he would or wouldn't do. But he does say this. He seems to be kind of a hacker-friendly person, anonymous. He was part of Occupy. He filmed Occupy at least. Freedom kind of person. So he has an opinion on this, and he does say that that the internet is being reconquered by corporations. And I just had spoken about gerrymander on my last video, and he talks about how failure technology in the 4 arguments for the elimination of television. Okay, so what we have here is we're combining, and also I watched a video on an anonymous video from last year. And I'm not too deep into last year, but it was essentially, I don't remember his name, but it was a dude that was one of the marketing people for Facebook, and he's gotten away from it. He was part of user acquisition, and excuse me. He essentially said that he only posted 4 times on social media in the last 7 years. Not sure how that's even possible, but for someone that works at Facebook, worked at Facebook. Anyway, I don't know when he left the company, but he's basically saying he felt guilty. He thinks basically our mind's been rewired, and that social media is giving us little dopamine hits and sort of manipulating a lot of people. And so here, find people to follow and manage your follow list. Okay, great little information. I remember looking at this. TweetDeck still around. Twitter for iPhone. So someone could probably tell me what year this was published by that phone. It's a few years back. iPad, Twitter for Mac, OS X. Okay, so it was kind of blown. I mean, it's pretty heavy stuff. Okay, so Tim Poole is saying you're essentially losing the freedom of the internet. He mentioned Craigslist as removing personals because there was a law passed that anything considered helping trafficking would be considered, a federal offense. And so these companies are taking down their, personal ads sections. So because it can be used for really easily be used for, trafficking in sex trade. So I think Backpage was eventually convicted for straight up promoting prostitution. But Craigslist is charging more money for different posts in different areas, which I understand because they're being used a lot. Anyway, Tim Poole just basically laid it out like this, and he's alluded to this before. He just basically clearly said that the corporations are taking back their power through the internet, through the social media sites, through legislation like that, through controlling what people say in content, content strikes on all the social media by using the excuse of hate speech or defamatory speech. And he brought up Count Dankula, his conviction of a hate crime for just mentioning something to 10 subscribers. And so he just laid it out. Look, my question is like, maybe we shouldn't be sad because the ex-Facebook executive said, Maybe the whole internet is wrong. Maybe he specifically said social media. Maybe all of social media is wrong. The internet was around before Facebook, so maybe maybe you have to get off of social media. Will you be able to work if you don't have a profile? Will this be something that's unacceptable? Can we work without social media? Can we get off of this and not be subjugated to questions of, are you a real person, or what are you hiding? Can you work in any degree in major jobs? Are you gonna have to drop off into alternative work, less paying jobs? You're not gonna be able to do well if you can't use social media. Can you use it professionally without compromising your ethics? Is it just going to be, maybe it is only for correct speech and non-confrontational stuff. Obviously, it's being legislated that way. So if you've been around a little bit and you've noticed the internet losing its freedoms, then you might be concerned. So basically, Tim Poole is calling it, as it happens, corporate media is coming back. We thought we had a good run, maybe, what was it, from 2000, maybe, I don't even know, 2000. I mean, the smartphones were not that popular for a little while. They weren't strong enough. Maybe 8 years. I'll say 2000. Oh, maybe. No, I'm getting that wrong. Yeah, maybe I would say a good 10 or 12 years. And of course, the closer we get to this time right now, the better social media has been used to communicate, because it got stronger. And then there's a point where I think it's leveled off. I mean, there's not much more you can do. They're just code. This is just code, everybody. This is just code. They're just pages. They're just screens. Look at this. It's just control Facebook to keep your details private. Okay, that's pretty relevant now. Don't use it. Maybe don't use it, okay, guys? So anyway, so that's that. Tim Poole called it. My 2 cents is this: maybe you shouldn't use it at all. Maybe gerrymander is right. Maybe we should just stop using social media. Create your own website. If that helps, maybe that'll help. Create your own communication systems, smaller groups. Get off of it and don't even use it. That's my advice to you, and maybe that's kind of like where we need to go. I mean, it's not healthy. It's not useful. It's not healthy to stare at screens for so long. And this is maybe the biggest problem of everything. So anyway, I'll wrap at that point. There's nowhere else I can take it, but corporate media is taking over, as if we didn't know that was going to happen. And these guys know this stuff. If there's a place to get power, there's a place to, that they're going to find it. And the early internet, the early Silicon Valley, it wasn't about that necessarily. It was about freedom. It was about expression. It was about liberty. It's changed. I've noticed the change. I live nearby that area, and the people coming in are more mainstream, more normal, they're more goody looking. They're more pretty looking even. They're just average people looking for jobs. They're younger people. They don't care. They're not the same innovators. They're not the same developed minds. They're not that smart. There's a lot of hangers on. There's some who are smart, and there's some who just know code. Some younger, narrow focused people that only know code. That's all they know. And these other people just want to promote their pretty faces. It's not it's great work if you can get it, but I'm gonna look at this MySpace. I'm gonna check if there's actually a MySpace. Anyway, guys, that's that. Think about it. Think about getting off the internet and using it less, and maybe the alternative, versions of the social media are the ones we're going to have to go to. At least that's a little bit better. Get off the corporate media. And most of all social media is corporate. All right, super basic news. Share, do the social media thing for me, because we need to keep informed, at least, for a little while.